Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying dinner and rich conversations at your tables with your partners and fellow guests there. We're going to continue now with the second part of the program, and to kick it off, we're going to mark it with a poem that is specially written for this occasion by a very distinguished Mongolian writer. He's a playwright, a writer of operas, a screenwriter, and a poet who has been recognized as a national poet of Mongolia. So I'd like to invite up Mr. Tagvasuren Bavu to read the poem to celebrate this occasion, the Global Peace Awards Gala. Mr. Tagvasuren, can you please come on up? Thank you.
Эрхэмсэг ноёд хатагтай нараа Латин Америкийн төвд зүрх мэд орших бузалсан халуун цустай Парагвай орны амар амгалан гэрья. Би эртний төрд ёст Монголоос ирлээ. Хүндрэлтний өлгий цэнхэр гараг маань өдөр тутам өтөлсөөр байгаач хүндрэлтэн шин бүхний төлөө шинжиллийн төлөө зүтгэсэн хэвээрээ байна. Глобалчлал гэдэг нь нийтээр адилхан байх, адилхан болохын томьёо биш ээ. Харин ч өөрийн хөрөн ижил төвшөнд очих мөрөөдөл юм бас тэмүүлэл юм аа. Бурхан багшаас нэг удаа таны эцэг хэн бэ гэж асуухад Бурхан багш төвдөрлгүйгээр миний эцэг сэтгэл гэж хэлсэн байдаг. Бүхнийг хүний сэтгэл бүтээнэ. Хүндрэлтэнд маргаашин сонгох цаг ирлээ. Би нэгэн зүйлийг ашид бардам хэлмээр байна. Чингис хааны их империйн үеийн 200-аас 300 жилийн амар амгалан шиг тийм амар амгалан дэлхий одоо болтол үзээгүй байна. Би та нартай Монгол орны тунгалаг хөх тэнгэр салхи Монгол түмний сэтгэлийн үгийг хүргэж ирлээ. Мелоди Монголия Чингис хаан. хөгжим. Миний дэлхий алгын чинэхэн шалбаагнд сар багтаж хондог туулын хэвтэр шиг хонхортон тэнгэр одтойгон багтадаг миний дэлхүй агуу томоо нарны гал залгилж түүхийн цангаагаан тайлдаг сарны цагаан хэрмар цустай элдэн угаадаг миний дэлхий агуу томоо салхины цэнхрэмсгагаар хумхын тоос сонговдог сансрын шуурганд балбуулж лагшны чилээгэн гаргадаг миний дэлхий агуу томоо амин дэлхий минь томж амар амгаланд харамхан азийн дэлхий минь томж амьдын заяанд хурамхан бор дэлхиймэн томч бодол багтахгүй жаахан хөхтөл хиймэн томч хүний тархинаас жижигхэн миний дэлхий жаахан миний дэлхий жаахан. Thank you very much. Viva Paraguay.
Viva Paraguay indeed. I think we could sense a little the spirit of the steppes and the sense of the space of vast stretches of grassland and a wide open sky in that poem. Let's again express our appreciation to Mr. Takvasuren. Please continue to enjoy your desserts while we move ahead with the Global Peace Awards for 2014. The Global Peace Awards honor government, civil society, and faith leaders whose exemplary efforts have substantially improved the lives of others. The Global Peace Awards underscore the importance of moral and innovative leadership, an ethic of public service, and a willingness to transcend boundaries of religion, ethnicity, culture, and nationality in advancing the ideal of one family under God. Challenging conditions that limit human potential and social development, award winners demonstrate lives of integrity and a sustained commitment to realizing a world of peace. This evening we have 4 awards. 3 of them highlight the 3 areas that are the core components of the Global Peace Foundation's approach to peace, namely interfaith leadership, strengthening families, and outstanding service, and together with an added focus on scholarship for peace. The first award is for interfaith leadership. The Interfaith Leadership Award is granted, it recognizes an individual that has provided outstanding leadership advancing interfaith collaboration, humanitarian service, and peace through the vision of one family under God. This year's recipient is Dr. Aqiel Siradj from Indonesia, and let's get to know him a little bit through watching this video about him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
My name is Aqiel Siradj, Chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama Executive Board, the largest Muslim organization in Indonesia, even in Asia. Nahdlatul Ulama has been leading efforts in interfaith and peace since it was chaired by the late Abdurrahman Mwangi, known as Gustur. And you, especially as a civil society,
특별히 그 서로 다투고 그 분쟁이 있던 그런 종족들 사이에서 그들을 화해시키고 그들의 그 끊임없이 일어나던 그 분규와 분쟁을 종식시키고 그들에게 평화를 가져왔습니다. 그리고 저는 또 여러 가지 또 정계에서도 제가 일을 했고 또 NGO로서도 또 제가 봉사한 바가 있고 그 반드시 그런 어떤 시빌 소사이어티를 위해서 제가 좀 잘 들리지가 않아서 지금 잡음이 심해가지고
Take, for example, the clash between the hardline Islam defenders and Ahmadiyya and putting down the conflict in other regions. Every New Year and Christmas, the NU's youth, overseeing the church's safety and security.
그 해마다 이제 그 연말 크리스마스 타임이 오면은 그 각 교회 지역 교회들의 그 안정과 그 모든 그런 상태를 점검을 하고는 합니다. 인도네시아에서 우리는 그 글로벌 피스 파운데이션 나카툴라자의 그 협조 관계가 돈독히 이루어졌고 함께 일궈낸 사업들이 모두 성공을 이뤘습니다. 같은 비전과 미션을 가지고 우리는 그 인간의 존엄성을 회복시키고 그러고 그런 어떤 시빌 소사이어티를 건강하게 구축하는 데 우리가 손을 잡고 정진하고 있습니다. 오늘 저녁에 이 상들은 글로벌 피스 파운데이션 멤버 글로벌 리더십 그 위원회의 임원들에게 멤버들에게 수상을 하려고 합니다. 지금 닥터 로버트 슐러 그 아메리칸 리뉴얼의 그 공동 의장으로 지금 재임하고 계신 분, 이분께서는 그 과거에는 그 파워 텔레비전 프로그램에 굉장히 인기가 높았던 프로그램이 되게 세계적으로 한 2천만 명이 매주 시청을 한 바 있는 그 쇼를 그 톡쇼를 진행하시던 분이고, 이분은 또 굉장히 그 베스트셀러의 또 저자이기도 하십니다. 그래서 이 수상을 하시면서 그 닥터 마수디 시훗은 나들라툴 울라마의 그 제너럴 세크리터리 되시는 분인데, 닥터 마수디는 그 닥터 사히드와 어깨를 나란히 하고 여러 가지 프로젝트에 그 두 분이 같이 협력하고 공조하시면서 굉장히 여러 가지 좋은 성과를 거두시고 글로벌 피스 파운데이션에 크게 기여하신 바 있습니다. 로버트 슐러 씨가 나오셔서 오늘 저녁에 이 상을 수상하실 수상자 이름을 발표하고 또 시상을 하시겠습니다. 지금 이 상을 제가 시상하게 된 게 영광인데, 닥터 K.H. 사히드 아이킬 사라드, 이번은 그 펜부사스 바사르 나탈루 우날루의 그 Executive Council Chairman으로 지금 재임하고 계시고, 이 단체는 세계에서 가장 큰 그 모슬렘 멤버들을 가지고 있죠. 16 밀리언이라면 1,600만 명의 교인들을 가지고 있고, 이분은 그 30개 지역을 섭렵하시면서 그 37,000명
across Indonesia and has made substantial charitable contributions in the fields of educational development, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. Nahdlatul Ulama is a GPF Global Interface partner, jointly working with Middle East nations as well as Asian countries to promote interfaith peace building and the vision of one family under God. Dr. Siradj previously served on Indonesia's National Commission for Human Rights and was the founder of the Siradj Aqiel Center in Egypt, a study center that focuses on developing Islamic discourse, particularly in the Arab world. Dr. Marsudi is here to accept the award on his behalf. So if you'll please come up at this time, I'd like to present you the award, Dr. Marsudi.
And now Dr. Marsudi will present his remarks.
Thank you, especially for the Chairman of Global Peace and also the Committee of the Award of Global Peace Interfaith Leader I am here with my wife, Mufiza. I want her also to join with me here. Represent my chairman, Hadratul Sheikh Professor Dr. Aqiel Siradj, as a general chairman of my organization, Nahdlatul Ulama, to thank especially to the Global Peace Foundation that always hand in hand with us, with Nahdlatul Ulama, to try to support my or our family, our community, our nation to live in peace and to live harmony among others. Among the followers of religions and among the tribe, among the nation, because actually this award will support us to be a good family, to be a better organization, also to be a good nation. That's why I come here with my wife. The message from our chairman for all of us and for all of you who come here, is don't stop building peace until we have rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wallahul muwafiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let's give another warm round of applause to Dr. Saeed and to Dr. Marsudi representing him. The next award given this evening is for leadership in strengthening families, and that award is given to Dr. Isabelita Borres of the Philippines. We have a short video about her. Let's watch it together.
I'm happy to tell you that I have been assigned from north to south. For example, my first assignment as a regional director was in the northeastern part of Mindanao, which we call now Region 13 or the Caraga Administrative Region. We emphasize the focus on a third Friday for the parents and the fourth Friday is for the children. We call it Children's Day. And the impact of a happy child learning in school is very high. Learning can only happen if children are happy. And who gives them that happiness? It's the parents. No matter how good the teacher methodology is all about, but if children are not ready to absorb because they are not inspired and happy, learning can never happen. Based on that premise, and that is also the focus of Global Peace Foundation, we were able to integrate that concept. Hence, we put premium on parental involvement, correspondingly on Children's Day celebration. Thus, in our own small way, we institutionalized what we call the Friday activities. And so from Region 13, when we were given a chance to serve also in a Muslim area in Mindanao, in Cotabato, in which case I also have worked for 3 years, I discovered that pattern has also increased the motivation of our children. And if we can compare the statistical data, the achievement of Caraga being the #1 region among small regions, and I can always attribute that to the learning processes experienced by our children. And if learning is very high and children are motivated, they can achieve. It's always the family that gives a good foundation, supported by a good follow-up of school that also connects to the family. That makes a very motivating, nurturing environment for our children. After all, this conference, all our efforts are not for us, they are for our children.
The member of the Global Peace Leadership Council who will introduce and present the award to Dr. Borres is Dr. Eva Latham. She's the founder and president of Human Rights Teaching International in the Netherlands and has served as Secretary General of the Dutch Council of Women. Through her career, she's worked tirelessly to strengthen the role that women play in peace building, and she is on the International Advisory Council for Global Peace Women. Please welcome Dr. Latham.
Good evening. Having served 3 regions in Mindanao, Dr. Isabelita Moleta Borres is at present the Regional Director of Region 3 of the Department of Education in the Republic of the Philippines. In her 30-year career as an educator, Dr. Borres has worked as a high school teacher, as a researcher, English department chair, Dean of Student Affairs, and school division superintendent. She has been a delegate and presenter at educational conferences throughout Southeast Asia on themes including school community home partnership, drug abuse and AIDS protection, critical thinking, and educational reform. And of course, also adolescent reproductive health. Dr. Borres has won numerous awards as an educator and civic leader, including the Most Outstanding Public Servant, Caraga region in 2003, one of the 10 most outstanding young women leaders of the country in 1991, Area Governor of the Year in 2002, and Woman of the Year in 2002, cited by the American Biographical Institute. Her civic leadership includes service as president of the Catholic Women's League and Nickel Siradj in Surigao City. She is also the author of 2 novels. The first one is My Heart's Desire, written in 2002, and the next one is A Woman of Heart, written in 2000.
Dr. Borres, can you please come to the stage to receive your award? Let's give her a warm welcome. I think Dr. Latham, could you just pose for a photograph before Dr. Borres starts to speak? Right, thank you very much. If we could have the microphone back, and let's hear from Dr. Borres. Thank you.
I wanted to hold my trophy and say, to God be the glory. May I present and manifest my sincerest and deepest appreciation to the Global Peace Foundation with its own leadership council, especially Dr. and Mrs. Yun Jing Moon, the other key officials, and all of us, the members of the Global Peace Foundation, for you having recognized our own efforts to support GPF. This is a surprise, but definitely a very good inspiration for me as a teacher, a worker of the Department of Education in my country. This can even be my new roadmap for the next set of activities for transformation. And I will be inspired, just like how you also engage yourself as we work with our activities and programs, that there is always that desire to do more, work more, and love more for our children, for their education, with the premise anchored that a family, one good family under God. And so my husband and my family are very thankful for this occasion, your presence, and of course, the leadership and the whole family of Global Peace Foundation for this recognition, which I dedicate once again to all the children out there, to my very own 2.1 million school children of Region 3 and the rest of the 17 million school children of the Philippines. And may I clench by calling out a portion of my favorite typical recitation for a teacher. But the temple that the teacher built will last while the ages roll, for that beautiful, unseen temple is a child's immortal soul. Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Borres. Let's express again our warm appreciation to her.
Thank you.
Our next award is the Outstanding Service Award. This award is conferred on an individual whose efforts have resulted in sustainable progress in areas of healthcare, poverty reduction, entrepreneurship, environmental sustainability, education, and other areas of social impact. The recipient this year is the Honorable Dona Marlene Ocampos, and we will learn about her work a little from a video that we'll share together.
I am Marlene Ocampos, Governor of Alto, Paraguay. We have 82,000 square kilometers, and 30% of the population is indigenous. And to mention what we're doing in terms of social service and for peace, For a long time, we have organized women, organized youth into groups, establishing committees, and organized neighborhood committees, where thanks to the configuration, we were able to empower young people and women. I want to say that work of the global peace, because thanks to the strategic alliance with this, we managed to train women within the limitations we have in our state. But within these limitations, our women and young people have skills and capabilities. Now that we have the opportunity to give jobs to people in Puerto Casado, they are prepared and trained. When I took the office, there was nothing. I found the place virtually devastated in every possible way. Today I can say with certainty that this slogan that identifies us to Alto Paraguay, waking and getting up, we are carrying forward very strongly with much fortitude, because there is a new awakening in Alto Paraguay. And what the people are now recognizing in Alto is the struggle that I'm pushing forward, the fight against corruption that can do so much damage to a state, to a town, a country. I believe that every person who has the minimum conditions for a dignified life, a person at least with the basic needs met, will be able to think that together we must fight for peace. And why not for a true and lasting peace?
Leadership Council, the Global Leadership Council, who will introduce and present Governor Ocampos with her award, is His Excellency Marco Vinicio Cerezo. He was the first civilian elected as President of Guatemala after more than 30 years of dictatorship, and served as president there from 1986 to 1991. He's the creator and a signatory of the Peace and Democracy Agreements in Central America, Esquipulas I and Esquipulas II, and a co-creator of the Central American Parliament. He's currently president of the Esquipulas Foundation for Central American Integration and a member of the Carter Center of Presidents and Prime Ministers of the Americas. He's also a founding member of the Latin American Presidential Mission. Please welcome him to the stage to introduce Governor Ocampos.
First of all, I would like to say a few words in the sense that I feel gratefully proud to give this award to Ms. Governor and friend of mine, Marlene Campos, because her success and her triumph political is a historical step forward to create profound changes in Paraguayan politics, and to show that politicians committed with their people, with their principles, and with their values can do transformations, profound transformations within their field towards the cities in order to change a country completely. So Ms. Marlene Campos is governor of the state of Alto Paraguay in Paraguay. She comes from the city of Puerto Casado. She has worked approximately for 20 years in the health department in the communities isolated in the region of Chaco during the different administrations that were usually unstable. In the last few years, she has implemented a service model of initiative of community development in Puerto Casado. Because of her dedication in the majority of the indigenous population in that state, she was encouraged to run to become the governor of that state, with no experience in that field, and with a lot of obstacles, even of threats against her own life. She has won the elections in August of 2013. She's the only female governor in Paraguay. Governor Ocampos continues serving the inhabitants of Alto Paraguay, fighting to get resources to give help in areas affected by flooding, as well as other assistances that are urgent. So I congratulate her, the Foundation Global Peace, for this recognition that she deserves it, and that encourages women to keep serving their country. Governor Ocampos.
Stage to receive the award. Let's give her a warm welcome as she comes up to receive the award.
Good evening, everybody. To everybody here present, I am very emotional tonight. Very excited tonight. Very happy. Because I think that this very meaningful recognition is not just for Marlene Ocampos. It's for all of those people from Alto Paraguay, those people that don't have a voice, those people that have always been marginalized, that had always been ignored. And thank you to the Global Peace Foundation. Thank you to Dr. Moon and his wife. I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, in representation of all the inhabitants of Alto Paraguay, indigenous communities and Latins. I thank you. We are very, very grateful and very honored to, as I said this morning in that plenary, this is the first time that at a national level and international level, Alto Paraguay, the last forgotten state in Paraguay, is being so visible, and it's on the spot. Thank you, Global Peace, Dr. Moon and your team, and thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Governor Ocampos. I think she's truly a daughter of Paraguay, and you can get a sense, our international guests, of how her dedication has touched the hearts of Paraguayans from the reaction to her here this evening. Let's give her another warm round of applause. Our fourth award this evening is the award given for Innovative Scholarship for Peace, and the awardee is Dr. Mwangi Kimenyi. The award is given to recognize an individual whose advocacy for peace at a research institution or in academia has led to policy initiatives that have advanced social reconciliation and human development. Once again, we can learn a little bit about Dr. Kimenyi's work through the video we'll now watch.
For the last several years, I've been undertaking several research projects that deal with the conflict, basically to understand the drivers of conflict. And I've been doing this in Kenya, particularly, and also in Nigeria, and have also done some work on South Sudan. Basically, the type of research that I've been working on is to try and understand people's perceptions about feeling and what drives conflict, particularly as pertains to identities, whether religious or ethnic. After the conflict in Kenya, I did go to Moro and Kusai. These are regions in the Rift Valley that were seriously affected by the conflict. And we went there with the team from the Global Peace Foundation. And we were able to talk to several of the youth who are in different sides of the conflict. And the feeling was that actually what divides the youth is much less than what separates them. And for quite a long time, they had not sat down to discuss even the conflict and the way forward. But when we sat down with them and we gathered that they were actually, in a way, they were all victims of this conflict through incitements from politicians. And the efforts by GPF to bring them together and the character education was very crucial in terms of changing their attitudes. So we found that youth were more likely to be the agents of peace, particularly when they go through this type of programs. The type of research that I've been working on has made impact in Africa and some of the regions in Africa, because what we have been doing is try to understand what drives conflict, and conducting surveys, talking to different people in different regions, we get an idea of what triggers these conflicts. And that is a basis for policy, and particularly preventative type of actions that governments and NGOs and the international community can use to try and prevent conflict.
The member of the Global Leadership Council who will introduce Dr. Kimenyi and present his award this evening is Dr. Markande Rai. Dr. Rai is the Chief of Global Parliamentarians of the United Nations Human Settlements Program in Nairobi, Kenya, where he's also Senior Advisor to UN Habitat, based in Nairobi also. He was, in 2006, the recipient of the Distinguished Hind Ratan Award. Please welcome him to introduce Dr. Kimenyi and present the award.
I feel proud to introduce my friend, son of Kenya, which is my second home, not other than Dr. Mwangi S. Kimenyi, is a senior fellow and director of Africa Growth Initiative in the Global Economy and Development Program of the Brookings Institute of Washington, D.C. He is the founding executive director of the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, KIPRA, ranked the top policy institution in Africa and recognized as the International Center for Excellence. He is also a research associate with the Center for the Study of African Economies at Oxford University in the UK. Dr. Kimenyi's research focuses on African policy, political economy, and policies for economic growth and poverty reduction, and he is the author or co-author of 7 books and 6 policy monographs. Dr. Kimenyi is a recipient of many honors and awards, including co-winner of the Outstanding Research Award 2001 by Global Development Network and the Gorgescu-Rosen Prize in Economics in 1991. In 1994, Dr. Kimenyi was named by Policy Review among the top 10 among young market economists in the United States. Let me invite Dr. Mwangi to receive this prestigious GPF Global Peace Award 2014.
Chairman Moon and Excellencies who are here, and all the members of the GPF, I would like to say that this is a humbling experience for me, and I'm very grateful. I don't know what process went through it, but we've been working with GPF, and I didn't expect this. So I would like to thank you very much. First of all, for the great work that you are doing, but also for the recognition. I'd like to mention that my name appears, but actually the main work that we did on peace research was with my wife. So I would like to recognize Irene Kimenyi, who is my partner and whom we have been doing quite a bit of work. And even when I do other stuff, she was helping me with the data. Just a word about where we are coming from. As a researcher, I'm obviously focused on development, particularly of the African continent. And if you look at what has happened in Africa, particularly the last 50 years, we usually call it the wasted decades. Because by the end of year 2000, Africa was worse off in terms of development than it was at independence. And if you ask yourself why that is the case, what you realize is that actually it's nothing to do with the resources. It has to do with how we live with each other. And basically, for the 50 years after independence, Africa was characterized by conflict, identity-based type conflict, particularly tribal, ethnic, and religious conflict. That has been our problem in Africa. And you cannot progress unless you solve these type of issues. So part of my research has been really trying to understand these issues of identity and how do we deal with them, how do we change the attitudes. And we think that it's a difficult problem. It's all over the continent, as you see in terms of the current happenings. But what GPF is actually doing, and even this for us, this type of award, is to motivate us more, to think more seriously, how can we build better societies? How can we engage people from different ethnic groups to build viable societies that are peaceful? So for this, we are extremely grateful. We are humbled. I know there are many people who are better deserving for this award, but we will try to do the best to advance issues of peace through research. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kimenyi. That brings us to the end of the award presenting. Did you notice that every award recipient who came up with their spouse, either their wife or their husband? Don't you think that makes a nicer, fuller picture than just the individual coming up? As we're coming towards a close, I'd like to invite one more couple to the stage. Dr. Hyunjin Moon, the founder and chairman of the Global Peace Foundation, and his wife, Dr. Junsuk Moon, who's the chair of Global Peace Women. And I hope that Dr. Moon might share with us a few words of inspiration to send us on our way with determination to build on the foundation made here in Asuncion, in the work we do in our home regions in the coming year. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Hyunjin Moon. And Dr. Moon, can your wife join you on the stage, please? Please, Mrs. Moon, don't be shy.
My better half.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the awardees that won the Global Peace Award this year in 2014. Would you like to say something, Abel?
Congratulations.
The work of peace is a work of the heart. It takes tremendous amount of ownership, tremendous amount of investment, and it is the tireless work of many individuals out in local communities, in nations and regions around the world, many times working in very difficult situations and many times doing thankless work. The purpose of these awards is to recognize those champions that are the spark of hope in those desperate areas of the world, nations in the world, and regions of the world, where the spark of hope, of peace, can arise in the hearts of men and women. I hope that in this audience today there will be future awardees as members of the larger global peace family, that you can go back into your regions and really be the pioneers to champion the vision of one family under God, and to make that a reality in your homes, in your communities, in your nations, your regions, and ultimately the world. Thank you very much. Would you like to say something? Could we have the awardees come back on stage and take a picture?
Yes, if the awardees could come up and take a picture together with Dr. Moon and his wife, and if the presenters could stand by, and once there's a photo with the awardees, please come up and join them. So we'll have 2 sets of photos. Should be one more. What's that? And now could the presenters come up and join the awardees for another set of photos? Please come on up and take your places. Perhaps 2 of you could come to this end of, the line, 2 of the presenters. Dr. Rai. Dr. Rai and Dr. Schuler, please come to this end of the line. Thank you. ladies and gentlemen, that officially concludes our events for a very wonderful evening and concludes an extremely successful 6th Global Peace Convention 2014. I hope you all enjoy safe journeys to your homes and take with you the inspiration and the knowledge that you've gained here and put it to good use back in your home countries and regions. Thank you all and have a good night. Thank you. Welcome to stay, enjoy conversation, and to serenade you through the last part of the evening. We have some more wonderful Paraguayan music. So please relax, enjoy yourselves, and once again, thank you.